You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4, moving forward.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Live at 4 on this Tuesday. Brady is on assignment today. Eric Franke is filling in.
We're getting really deep on the depth chart
It's
here.
been a while.
I'm filling in for Sarah, who's filling in for Brady, who's on assignment.
Right.
Sarah,
I appreciate your help.
and we'll be sticking around for 5 as well, and
Yeah.
Sarah will join me at 6.
Today on Live at 4, Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley is officially running for Wisconsin governor.
The 39-year-old Democrat rose from poverty in Milwaukee's inner city to become the county's first black executive and youngest ever. He joins Lieutenant Governor Sarah Rodriguez in the Democratic primary to replace Governor Tony Evers, who is retiring. If elected, Crowley would be Wisconsin's first black governor. His campaign centers on lowering costs for families, expanding affordable health care and housing, and fully funding public schools. And we'll be interviewing him this afternoon. We'll hear from him and have more on that tonight at 10.
This month is Suicide Prevention Month, a time to remind all of us in Wisconsin of the resources available to those in crisis and to encourage people to take care of themselves and others. Governor Tony Evers shared this message today.
Take a moment today or this month to check in with the people you care about. Reach out to your friends, loved ones, and neighbors with a call or a visit. A little kindness and care go a long way, and I promise you'll feel better too. Together we can raise awareness, reduce the stigma that so often prevents people from getting the help they need, and build a safer, healthier state for everybody.
And an important reminder, if you need support, you can call or text the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. I don't think we have that graphic to put up, but we have all of the information on Channel 3000. The service is free and completely confidential.
Madison's mayor rolling out new proposals to make it easier to build homes and expand housing options all across the city. Those changes, set to be introduced at the next city council meeting, would update height limits for multifamily buildings, adjust lot size requirements, and make it easier for homeowners to add accessory dwelling units.
We are absolutely committed at the City of Madison to providing more housing options for everyone. And we want every resident to have the opportunity to find a home that works for their family.
City leaders say these steps are part of a broader effort to address Madison's housing needs. 2 more proposals, cottage court developments and transit-oriented zoning updates, are expected in October. A public meeting is scheduled for September 30th.
Now let's get a check on the weather. Eric, you like this extended summer.
Warm it up.
As warm
I don't want
as
summer
it can
going
be.
yet.
Meteorologist Jacob Montesano is on the weather patio. Hi, Jacob. Nice afternoon out there.
Yeah, very nice as I stand out here. A few clouds here and there, but for the most part, we are seeing a lot of sunshine at this time. And temperatures are very, very comfortable. Middle 70s for most of the area, close to 80 further west near the Mississippi River. And we're also not really seeing any rainfall right now in southern Wisconsin. But that is going to change late tonight into tomorrow. Now, we're not going to see a lot of rainfall, but let's take a look at that chance. It's going to move in a little bit later into the evening and overnight. Maybe the far western and northwestern portion of our region will see rain maybe in a few hours, but the majority of southern Wisconsin won't see rain until after midnight, where we are going to see a few showers and some isolated thunderstorms roll through, and we may continue to see that into Wednesday morning. But for the most part, rainfall is not expected to be heavy, and some areas, especially to the east, may miss out on rain entirely. So again, not going to see a big rainfall tonight, but there will be that chance. But I'll continue talking about these warm temperatures because they're just going to get warmer throughout the week. I'll talk more about that coming up a bit later.
All right, Jacob, thank you. The Wisconsin DMV warning used car buyers to be on the lookout for vehicles with some flood damage. Officials say water can cause hidden electrical or mechanical problems that may not appear for months. Now, buyers should check for musty smells, stains under carpets, test all the electronics. Dealers must disclose flood damaged vehicles on the Wisconsin Buyer's Guide, but private sellers offer few protections. The DMV urges people to trust their instincts. Walk away if something feels wrong.
Wisconsin has confirmed its first case of West Nile virus in a horse this year. The Department of Ag, Trade and Consumer Protection says a 3-year-old unvaccinated quarter horse in Grant County tested positive for the virus, which is spread by mosquitoes. mosquitoes. It can cause brain inflammation in both horses and people. Officials are urging horse owners to vaccinate their animals and to try to reduce mosquito breeding sites like standing water to lower the risk of infection.
Ohio-based Middlefield Original Cheese Co-op is recalling specific packages of cheese due to the possibility of listeria contamination. Affected products include the company's Dilly Pickle, Monterey Jack, organic Gouda, mozzarella, and bags of shredded cheese as well. The recalled cheese products were distributed between May and August here in Wisconsin, along with Minnesota, Ohio, and Texas. Customers can return the recalled cheese to the place of purchase for a refund.
Madison police say a fight outside of a downtown nightclub early Sunday morning spilled onto the streets and forced a larger response. Officers initially responded to reports of a man assaulting a woman, but other fights erupted near Gorham and State Street. Police used pepper spray to clear the crowd from the roadway. Multiple people resisted arrest, including one who bit a security guard and other officers, and another who swung at a police sergeant. Several people now face disorderly conduct, resisting battery, and obstruction charges.
One person dead, one severely injured after a crash. This happened in the town of Vienna yesterday afternoon. The Dane County Sheriff's Office says the vehicle was going west on Cuba Valley Road and was struck by a car that they say did not stop on County Highway I. A 63-year-old man was pronounced dead at the scene. A 60-year-old man was med-flighted to a nearby hospital.
Well, next on Live at 4, we're off to a great start in our 40th annual Coats for Kids campaign. Thank you, everybody, for your help. When we come back, we'll tell you what the latest numbers look like.
Yeah, and how you can donate as well. And Josh is in the 608 taking a look at the True North Music and Food Festival this month.
Temperatures stay nice through the week. Ahead in the First Warn forecast, Jacob will take a look at some possible storm chances overnight.
Then lawmakers on Capitol Hill are reacting to a birthday message between President Trump and convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein from 2003. What the president has to say about that note.
In the 608, we're looking ahead to the True North Music and Food Festival. It's happening later this month.
Our Josh Sprider on Madison's North Side with everything you need to know.
Well, we're at the Duck Pond. Normally we're talking about the Mallards or the Nightmares. Now we're talking about the True North Music and Food Festival coming to the Duck Pond later this month. I've got Vern Stenman and also Chef Dan Fox joining us today. Guys, thanks so much for having us out here.
Thank you.
Vern, let's start with you. What's this music festival all about?
Well, you know, there's been a lot of great things happening on the north side of Madison, and Matt Girding from Lola's and I got together about a year ago and said, you know, what can we do to celebrate all the great things happening on the north side? There's been new restaurants, new bars coming in, a lot of new housing developments, new people living on the north side of Madison, and we landed on this idea of kind of creating a food and music festival that will debut here on September 27th.
You know, this is about getting the community together, some of the best of the best. One of those is Heritage Tavern, Chef. And, you know, obviously I'm looking right here. You got to talk about these cheese curds first.
Yeah, so they're beer battered, tempura bacon wrapped cheese curds with a buttermilk dipping sauce.
So this will be something that people can expect right here.
This is one of two dishes that we have. This is the appetizer, the entree. We're actually taking whole suckling pigs, stuffing them, slicing them super thin, and making a little porchetta sandwich out of them.
Oh my gosh, that doesn't sound good at all, does it?
That sounds amazing. It sounds amazing, no doubt.
You know, what's it like to be able to get, obviously, the north side together? Because these are the people that support you through and through here at the Duck Pond, too.
Absolutely. And I think everything that we do with the Mallards is really community first. And we're trying to make Madison a better place to live, right? And if we are doing that from the Mallards' perspective, that's going to be good for the community, good for our business. And really the same thing here with the True North Festival to kind of celebrate that community and have these unique opportunities. We're going to have 12 chefs out on the field preparing food, you know, in that same kind of style, kind of interesting, fun, unique items. And then we're going to pair it with some outstanding music and some art and all kinds of things like that to make it an unforgettable experience on a Saturday afternoon here at the ballpark.
You know, Dan, what's it like for you? Because obviously all the restaurants here, you guys all know each other, but it's a little bit of competition. Getting together has got to be a little unique too.
Actually, getting together is a really special time. It's friendly competition, 100%. You know, everyone wants, of course, to be the belle of the ball, have the best dish of the day. But truly, it's amazing to come with restaurants like Ahan, Bonzo, Sin City Smash Burgers, and try out their fare. They're all very special places here on the north side of Madison.
All right, tickets are still available, Vern. Where can folks go to learn more?
Stop by the website, truenorthfest.com, and get tickets there. They're only $15, $2 for every ticket. Will benefit our nonprofit partners, the Domestic Abuse Intervention Services, and the Dane County Chefs Network. So it's all money being raised for a great cause as well.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Of course, I got to dig right in. We've got more details up on channel3000.com, again, happening later this month. Our friends at Madison Magazine are also a proud sponsor of this event. In Madison, I'm Josh Breiter, News 3 Now.
He always gets the treats.
He deserves it. It looks delicious, Josh. Thanks, guys. And it's been a while since we've had a decent rain. It's nice and warm and sunny, but we haven't had rain in a while, Jacob.
It might be coming, Jacob.
Yeah, we do have a few small chances of rainfall, but I don't expect the rain tonight to be anything big. We could see some more by the weekend, but the bigger story is the fact that we're going to see those 80s return with the chance of storms over the weekend on top of those 80s, with at least highs in the 70s over the next couple of days. Now, starting with the overnight forecast, we're going to see cloudy skies with that chance of rainfall, and that's going to allow temperatures to not really fall all that much. We'll have upper 50s to low 60s for lows across the board. And then for tomorrow, we're going to have temperatures pretty similar to today. The best chance of rain will be early, but in the afternoon, we're still going to see some cloudy skies with those high temperatures in at the lower 70s. Still, very comfortable like what we're seeing right now, but it's going to get warmer from there with high temperatures in the upper 70s Thursday, then 80s for Friday and the weekend. And although we may drop a little bit by the time we get to next work week, we're still going to be pretty easily above normal. Maybe some near average temperatures again by the end of next week, but it's certainly going to feel summer-like over the weekends. Now, looking more specifically, Thursday night in Green Bay, the next Packers game, 7:15 Thursday against the Commanders. It's looking like a very, very nice forecast. Clear skies, another great football weather forecast. And all you got to do is just bring a light jacket. Otherwise, enjoy the game. Don't need to worry about the weather too much. Now, let's check out that chance of rain again. Most of the rain for this evening will be well off to the northwest. So the northwestern portion of our area could see some of those showers, but a better chance of rain will come later in the night and into Wednesday morning as these showers and very isolated thunderstorms will move through. Again, not expect to see a lot of rain. The best chance of rain will be for areas west of Madison, but Madison and surrounding areas, and especially places to the south and east, not expect to see much. Maybe some lingering showers for the afternoon, but anything will be very light, especially at that point. Now, looking at the chances of rain for the next 7 days, they will increase a little bit once we get to the weekend, but I still don't expect to see anything too heavy. Now, we'll still see a few isolated thunderstorms potentially, but we're not going to see a big widespread rain that's going to kind of cover the entire area with an inch or more of rainfall. I expect to see more in that half-inch of rainfall range. And this is also not a slam dunk rain either, as we only are going to see about 30 to 50% chance for rain at those given times. So some on and off storms over the weekend, but certainly going to see those warm temperatures. Still going to be warm for next week again. Maybe starting to see it fall towards the end of next week, but this is definitely going to be a much more summer-like weekend, especially compared to last weekend.
All right, Jacob, so we can put away those coats for a while, but we did have a great kickoff to our Coats for Kids collection. Thanks to everyone who helped us pack the truck yesterday. Let's keep that momentum going so we can hit 5,000 donations by October 4th. We can do that, and there are a lot of people in our area who could really use our help staying warm this winter. We know it'll get cold, and we'll take any gently used winter coats you or your family no longer need. Drop them off at any area Clinky Cleaners location. Every item will be cleaned by Clinky for free and then sent to the Boys and Girls Club of Dane County for distribution. Next month, if you don't have a gently used coat but want to help out, there are also other ways to do that. Just log on to channel3000.com/coats for kids. Just follow the links to our Amazon wish list there, financial donation page also there, or you can volunteer, sign up there as well.
Still to come on Live at 4, tensions are rising between the U.S. and Venezuela after U.S. forces destroyed an alleged drug-carrying vessel.
Why the U.S. has increased its military presence in the Caribbean and the call for calm from the global community. Stay with us. Black across the board again today in Wall Street. The Dow adding more than 196 points. The Nasdaq gains 81, the S&P up 17.5. The White House and lawmakers on Capitol Hill are reacting to the release of a birthday message purportedly to be from President Trump to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. That was back in 2003. Now, the president has previously called this note fake.
Plus, the latest labor numbers show the job market is slowing. Torian Small has the latest from the White House.
The head of the House committee investigating the Jeffrey Epstein case is downplaying a message allegedly from President Trump to Epstein in 2003. The estate of the convicted sex offender turned the documents over to the committee, along with an apparent message from former President Bill Clinton.
This is about the victims. This is about embarrassing President Trump or Bill Clinton. This is about the victims.
President Trump has denied writing the note and making a sexually suggestive sketch. He's pursuing a defamation lawsuit against the Wall Street Journal for having earlier reported it.
This absolutely was not the president's authentic signature.
House Democrats are trying to force a vote on compelling the release of the Epstein files.
If Republicans don't want to engage in a cover-up of pedophilia and this pedophilia ring, they should go sign this discharge petition.
On an economic front, the Bureau of Labor Statistics issued a major revision Tuesday showing the U.S. added 911,000 fewer jobs than initially estimated over a 12-month period that ended in March. The president has been highly critical of BLS and the data. In August, he fired the Bureau's commissioner.
We need accurate numbers. We need truthful and honest data, which is why the president took the monumental step to try and appoint and confirm new leadership at the BLS so we can have data that we can actually rely on.
In light of the sharp downward revision, the White House has once again called on the Federal Reserve to cut interest rates when it meets later this month. Torian Small, CBS News, the White House.
The monthly job data is based on a survey of businesses, and some companies respond after the agency's initial jobs report has been issued. Because of that, the BLS updates its data to reflect the new information.
Tensions between the U.S. and Venezuela are flaring after an American Navy ship destroyed a boat that Washington claims was carrying drugs. President Nicolas Maduro called the video shared by Donald Trump a, quote, embarrassment. Venezuela's foreign minister says the U.S. is violating international law and insisted Maduro remains the undisputed leader of the country's revolution. While the White House accuses Maduro of drug trafficking, both the UN and DEA say Venezuela is not a major hub. Human rights groups, meanwhile, continue to report dozens of political prisoners detained without trial.
Charges have been dropped against the so-called fake electors who signed certificates falsely claiming that President Trump won the state of Michigan in the 2020 presidential election. Judge Kristen Simmons said the state did not successfully show the 15 men and women knew they were breaking the law.
This is a fraud case, and we have to prove intent. And I don't believe that there's evidence sufficient to prove intent.
This decision brings an end to the criminal prosecutions against the state's fake electors, who were each facing 8 charges.
Still ahead on Live at 4, a major reconstruction project coming to John Nolan Drive. What you need to know to navigate that area.
And differing opinions on vaccinations have caused some confusion for those who are looking to get the COVID vaccine. We'll talk with local experts about their recommendations and what you can do.
You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4, moving forward.
All right, Jacob's back on the patio. Beautiful day out there, and we've got a warm weekend ahead, but as he mentioned earlier, might see a storm chance or two.
Yeah, we are going to see some storms with that warmer weather, but right now not seeing any of that rainfall. Plenty of sunshine, very comfortable temperatures. Look at the temperatures across the board, mostly in the middle 70s. Now right here in Madison, we are seeing plenty of sunshine, but looking off to the west, here's a live view from Platteville. You can see a little bit more cloud cover, and there are some showers to the west of the Mississippi near Iowa and Minnesota, and this rain is expected to move into our area overnight. Now for areas further to the west and northwest, you folks may see some showers over the next few hours, but Madison and surrounding areas probably not going to see rain until either much later in the night, if not during the day on Wednesday. But it's also possible that some areas, especially for Dane County and to the east, don't see any rain at all. But areas to the west will certainly see a better chance of rainfall late tonight into Wednesday morning. But that rain is going to dissipate a little bit as it pushes from west to east. So again, Not going to see as much rain for areas to the east, but once we get to the afternoon hours, everyone only going to see a few very light showers. Much of the area will be dry with the best chance of rain happening in the morning, but those cloudy skies are going to lead to some mild lows, only dropping to the upper 50s, low 60s. And looking at the forecast for tomorrow, despite the cloudy skies, it's going to be another very nice day with highs back in the 70s. But then those 70s may turn into some 80s by the end of the week, so I'll talk more about that and also talk more in detail about the storm chance over the weekend, all coming up a bit later.
All right, Jacob, thank you. Well, you might face a little bit of a hiccup if you were planning to get the updated COVID vaccine this year for a trip or for work. The FDA approved the vaccine prescription only for anyone 65 and older and those with certain medical conditions.
Our Armand Rahman spoke to a local pharmacist who says these sudden new guidelines have sent many scrambling.
Smaller independent pharmacists like the ones at Fitchburg Family Pharmacy tell me the new updated COVID-19 restrictions and guidelines have put them in a bit of a bind.
It's totally caught everyone off guard.
The FDA authorized the vaccine for those at higher risk, anyone 65 and older, or who has these conditions, which include asthma, cancer, dementia, or heart conditions. Anyone on that list can go to a pharmacy and get a shot just like before. Anyone not on that list but still wants to get vaccinated needs a prescription from their doctor. Thad Schumacher, the owner of Fitchburg Family Pharmacy, says he only has a small amount in stock right now, but he's already had many people coming in wanting the new shot.
You know, for most people, I think it's okay to wait until all this stuff gets shaken out. But there are people who are getting ready for trips abroad. There are people who are at high risk and want to make sure that they're taken care of. And you know, there's lots of confusion.
Right now, the authorizations are not approved by the CDC's panel on immunization, which is necessary for Wisconsin pharmacies to give a vaccine without a prescription. But how can the new restrictions affect how much you pay out of pocket? I'll have more from a UW economist on that later tonight. For now, reporting in Fitchburg, Armand Rahman, News 3 Now.
Armand, thank you. That panel meets next on September 18th, but what they decide is up in the air because HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. recently fired members of the panel and replaced some of them with vaccine skeptics.
Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley is officially running for governor of Wisconsin. The 39-year-old Democrat rose from poverty in Milwaukee to become the county's first black executive and youngest ever. He joins Lieutenant Governor Sarah Rodriguez in the Democratic primary to replace Governor Tony Evers, who is retiring. If elected, Crowley would be Wisconsin's first black governor. His campaign centers on lowering costs for families, expanding affordable health care and housing, and fully funding public schools. We'll be interviewing him later today and have his comments on entering the race tonight on News 3 Now at 10. Madison is rebuilding John Nolan Drive between East Lakeside Street and South Broome, and the first step starts with southbound lanes, with construction starting around the beginning of October. The whole project is expected to last all the way to 2027. It'll rebuild 6 bridges, expand bike and pedestrian lanes, upgrade storm sewers and traffic signals. For phase 1, 1 lane will stay open in each direction along the causeway there. A public information session will be held on the 22nd of this month to talk more about detours and future steps. And you can find that on the City of Madison's website.
The City of Janesville is announcing a grand opening weekend of the Woodman's Sports and Convention Center. It's next Friday through Sunday. The 140,000 square foot facility features the Mercy Health Arena, a year-round ice rink, a multi-purpose arena for basketball, volleyball, and more. The festivities kick off next Friday at 10 with a ribbon cutting ceremony at 2510 Milton Avenue in Janesville. That'll be followed by a community weekend with family-friendly events on Saturday and Sunday. For the full schedule, visit woodmanscenter.com.
The Verona Senior Center has welcomed a new rickshaw bike. That's thanks to a community fundraising effort that raised over $15,000. A 3-wheeled bike carrying passengers and a pilot as well, giving older adults and those with limited mobility a chance to enjoy those outdoor rides in Verona. It's part of the Cycling Without Age program led by Verona resident Dean Gurrell. With support from local businesses and donors, volunteers are now being trained to offer rides to seniors and surrounding care facility residents. Looks like a pretty good way to get around.
It does. It looks like fun, too. The Milwaukee Brewers are nearing the end of the regular season with the best record in baseball, and you can watch the Brew Crew tonight on Television Wisconsin. The Brewers are taking on the Texas Rangers again. The Rangers beat Milwaukee 5-0 in Game 1 of the series. First pitch is set for 7:05 tonight, and with only 17 games remaining in the regular season, the Brewers still have the best record in all of baseball. And it reminds us of the time decades ago when the Brewers united not just the city of Milwaukee, but the entire state. Tonight, immediately following the game on Television Wisconsin, you can watch the documentary Just a Bit Outside. It's the story of the 1982 Brewers and their rise to fame that brought the city and state together.
It's about this kind of unique melding between the city and the state, and this team of real characters, guys that I don't know that we see anymore, kind of outcasts, kind of free spirits, but then also amazing ball players. And it's the kind of roller coaster journey of their entire season that takes them to Game 7 of the World Series.
Again, you can watch that documentary tonight. It airs right after the Brewers game on Television Wisconsin.
And still to come on Live at 4, new data is showing weak job growth from this year and also last.
Plus, income is stagnating in the United States, but researchers say earnings are keeping pace with inflation.
And a warming trend is expected throughout the week with highs in the upper 70s. Jacob returns as complete first-warn forecast.
Plus, a large number of people are living with undiagnosed diabetes. We'll look at how widespread the issue is when we come back.
Income in the United States was essentially flat last year. The median household income just under $84,000 in 2024. That is according to the U.S. Census Bureau. Statistically, that's the same as it was the year prior. The U.S. poverty rate inched downward by 0.4 of a point last year. And for what lies ahead, analysts say the overall outlook may be weaker due to a struggling labor market and softer wage gains.
Speaking of, finding a new place to pick up a paycheck hasn't been as easy as originally thought. Newly revised numbers show about 911,000 fewer jobs were added during the 12-month period that ended in March. This payroll revision is the first step in a yearly review of employment-based data. Each year, the Bureau of Labor Statistics looks at data from business surveys and tax filings to provide a more definitive job count.
A new study shows marijuana may cause chromosomal defects in human egg cells. Researchers worry this potential damage to unfertilized eggs in female ovaries may lead to infertility, miscarriage, and possible genetic defects in babies. The study, published in the journal Nature Communications, it linked higher levels of THC, the chemical that produces marijuana's high, with changes in how eggs mature and a possible increase in chromosome malformations. A recent study found self-reported cannabis use more than tripled among pregnant women in the U.S. from 2002 to 2020.
Nearly half of people with diabetes around the world don't know they have it. That's according to a new study that found 44% of people ages 15 and older with diabetes are undiagnosed. For example, younger people are much less likely to be diagnosed, and higher income countries are doing a better job of identifying diabetes. Experts say early diagnosis is key because undiagnosed diabetes can lead to long-term problems.
And still ahead on Live at 4, Dr. Jeff Potoff joins us with a story about birth defects risks that women under 50 have and how to avoid them.
Plus, how speed walking, the pace at which you walk, may be a key to longevity. That's another new research study. We'll have the results on both of those stories.
And you're going to do a demonstration, right?
Yeah, right. We're giving the weather satellite a little spin this afternoon. This is Branson, Missouri. I don't think I would have guessed that.
That's where you go every year to see Yakov Smirnoff, isn't it?
Yeah, right. A nice day in Branson. Temperatures are hovering around 85 degrees today. Well, here's an interesting statistic. 1 in 33 babies in the U.S. are born with birth defects.
But a new study from the CDC is raising awareness of ways that women can lower that risk.
And are you too busy to go to the gym? Well, this is a very interesting new research study that shows fast walking may be a key to longevity.
Yeah, we got a lot to talk about with Jeff Potoff today. Dr. Potoff,
hey guys.
Great to see you.
Hi, Dr. Potoff, good to see you. So let's start with the study on birth defects because it's very interesting. It's a leading cause of fatalities among infants, right?
Yep.
The study shows that there are 5 main things that women under 50 need to do to reduce birth defects. What are they?
Yeah, that's what I like about this study, because I think lots of times when we think about birth defects, we just think it's got to be environment, it's got to be genetics, and there's not much we can do, and it turns out there are. So researchers looked at a whole lot of women, and they came down with 5 things. So one of them is diabetes. So if you have diabetes and you're pregnant, very important to keep that blood sugar in close control. Smoking. So if you're a smoker, that's not great. That's hard to quit. But if you're thinking about having a family and you're a smoker, going through the process of quitting smoking before you have a baby would reduce your risk for birth defects. Another one that's kind of tricky, obesity. So if you're overweight, you have a BMI over, say, 25, working on that, getting your weight down before you become pregnant can help you not have birth defects. And the other two are maybe a little bit harder, or one is easy. One is folate. So if you're pregnant, you should be taking a folate supplement. That'll reduce your risk for birth defects. And then food insecurity. So maybe not super common in Dane County, but certainly here, if you don't have access to high quality food, or you don't have a grocery store where you live, all you can do is go to a gas station, you're probably not getting the nutrition that you need, and that seems to lead to birth defects too.
Yeah, so you do everything you can. It's so important to do everything you can, because some of this stuff they can't control, these consequences that come from this.
Absolutely, and I think it's empowering to have agency over things that you can control. So maybe you can't control every variable that leads to birth defects, and it's not to say that if women get all these things, all these 5 things perfectly right, they'll never have a birth defect. But there are some things you can do to reduce your risk.
This study was interesting. It showed that 66% of women of childbearing age have at least one of those risk factors, and I think 3 in 10 had what?
Yeah, 10% I think had 3.
10% had 3. Wow. I'm reversing it there. So what's the main message for women? You want to get this under control before you get pregnant?
Yeah, I think, or if, let's say, diabetes, maybe that's not something you can get under control, but while you're pregnant, make sure you run those numbers tight. Or even for obesity, like good diet, good exercise plan. Like, think about these things as you're thinking about family planning.
Well, walking has kind of been the craze, shifting gear here, and we've learned how much walking helps, and it's something a lot of people can do if they have joint issues. It's not as impactful as running. And now we're talking about the faster you walk, the better. Is that right?
It is. So there's been lots of studies that say, you know what, if you go to a gym 3-4 times a week, like, good on you, that's great. For a lot of us, that's pretty unrealistic. So what can we do to actually get those health benefits? This study, I love it because they do fast walking. They compare it to slow walking. And first, I'm like, well, define fast walking. What is that? And the definition's even crazier. It's you can talk while you're walking, but you can't sing a song. So maybe we should try that out. But for people who did fast walking, I think they monitored them over the course of like 8 years, 20% reduction in all-cause mortality, mostly with cardiovascular heart disease. If you were overweight or diabetic, that benefits even stronger. Slow walkers, about 4% reduction. So, I guess when you go and take your dog for a walk tonight, make sure it's at a pretty good clip.
We've seen the speed walkers in the Olympics too. You maybe move the hips a little bit.
Right.
So maybe your joints get a little more of a workout as well. It helps the bones.
Right, and 15 minutes a day. That's what they're saying. You have to do it most days, but only 15 minutes. So that seems doable.
And who cares if the neighbors laugh at you, right?
Well, especially if you're singing, to see if you're walking fast enough.
That would be quite a sight. Around the neighborhood.
That would be great.
Very interesting stuff. Dr. Potoff, good to see you.
Good to see you.
You bet.
Well, Jacob's back with a look at the first warn forecast, and we're staying summer-like for the week, Jacob.
Yeah, those temperatures, they're just going to continue to get warmer as we head towards week's end, where highs are expected to get into the 80s. And we also will see some storms over the weekend. Now, let's start with that chance of rain. First, once again tonight, we'll see some showers move into our area, especially impacting places to the west of Madison. But Madison and areas to the east, a little bit less likely to see the rain. Still could, but in general, any location that does see the rainfall, it should be fairly light, even those of you to the west. Now, for Wednesday night, Thursday, and Friday, we are going to remain dry, with some rain possibly moving back into the area Friday night, and the chance of storms will kind of be on and off throughout the weekend. Saturday, it doesn't look like we're going to see a lot, with a little bit of a better chance Saturday night into Sunday. Could see some thunderstorms with that. Right now, the severe weather risk looks pretty low, but in general, we're just kind of expecting a few on and off storms. Still unclear what time frame will be the most likely, but it looks like Sunday right now looks a little bit more likely than Saturday. Saturday, but still kind of just a small chance both days. Now looking at the temperature forecast, with the cloudy skies tonight, we're going to have mild lows kind of around 60 for most of the area. And then for tomorrow, we're going to see continuous cloud cover throughout the day, which will lead temperatures into the lower 70s, still a little bit below normal, but obviously very comfortable. Conditions overall will be very similar to today. But then by the end of the week, we're going to be very summer-like with temperatures back up into the 80s, middle 80s for Saturday, and we are going to remain warm for much of next week. Now, before I show you the full 10-day forecast, let's take another look at the Packers game forecast. It's looking very good once again. Great football weather for Thursday night in Lambeau against the Commanders. Definitely need to probably bring a light jacket, but clear skies are expected for Thursday night. Very, very good football weather, and that's going to be a similar condition here in Madison during that time frame. It is going to be pretty dry to end the work week Thursday, Friday as those temperatures warm up, and then for the weekend we have a little bit of a chance of some showers and storms. Most of the weekend though should be dry. Those storms probably not going to last too long, but those temperatures obviously will be a lot warmer, and the overnight lows are going to continue to be mild, with even the coldest days only dropping into the middle 50s compared to the lower 40s that we saw over this past week.
Well, the Emmy Awards are airing this Sunday, a broadcast you can watch live right here on CBS and WISC-TV. It starts at 7 p.m.
It can take weeks for stars to prepare to walk the red carpet. Wendy Gillette is in Southern California visiting some of the celebrity hotspots in West Hollywood where stars get ready for the big night, and so can you.
Fancy a little cold plasma? The treatment is part of the red carpet facial at Ulla Henriksen Spa in West Hollywood that celebrities embrace.
Why people really want it is glass skin. Dewy, glowy, plumpy, hydrated, brightened skin.
The facial includes V-Soto and Ulla Henriksen skin products and a human growth factor serum.
It helps to extend the results by about 10 days.
Just down the road in this wellness mecca, Next Health also draws celebrity clientele, offering IV, cryo, and infrared light therapies, along with vitamin shots.
All of these things really help to promote health from the inside, but the effect is that you appear healthier on the outside.
Stars seeking privacy will sometimes opt for a spa like this one at the nearby Sunset Marquis, where red light technology combats aging. The hotel where we stayed for a special rate has villas with private entrances and space to decompress in the heart of the city.
You walk through the breezeway and there's these beautiful 3.5 acres of gardens here.
The hotel is also home to Nightbird Recording Studios. The underground hideaway has 3 different studios where dozens of Grammy Award-winning records have been produced.
Jed Lieber owns the studio that attracts plenty of big names.
Everyone from Aerosmith to ZZ Top, A to Z, has worked here. One of my favorite sessions was Monty Python.
When it comes to Tinseltown's body conscious, they can fuel up on protein-rich sushi at Uchi, then burn it off at Dog Pound, where trainer Kara Lazowskis prepares busy performers for big events.
We stick to a full-body approach so that they're able to consistently come to the gym, so the soreness is mitigated, but they continue to train.
She recommends a minimum of 3 strength training sessions a week to get anyone red carpet ready. Wendy Gillette, CBS News, West Hollywood, California.
Tomorrow on Live at 4, Lisa Briggs from the Bruce Company will be here to answer all of your plant and garden questions. You can go ahead and email them even today at any time at tips@channel3000.com, and Lisa will answer them tomorrow. And straight ahead tonight at 5, reading skills for high schoolers have fallen. We'll take a look at the numbers and the reasons why. Thanks for watching Live at 4 today, everybody. We hope to see you right back here tomorrow. You can always find us streaming 24/7 on Channel 3000 Plus. News 3 Now at 5 starts right now.